Welcome to the Breaking Our Borders podcast. I'm Dr. Michelle Border, and in today's episode, I'm going to tell you about my credentials and experiences that may enlighten you into how to improve your life. Let's get started breaking our borders together. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Breaking Our Borders podcast. Today, I want to tell you about myself, about how I have created borders in my own mind, and how I can use my experiences and education to help you break some of your own mental borders. One way that I am prepared to help you break down your borders is through my own experience with childhood trauma. My father was physically abusive and emotionally absent in my early years of childhood. My mother was and still is a narcissist. In future episodes, I will explain in more detail what those qualities mean, but for now, I can say that being raised by people with their own issues caused me to have childhood trauma. Due to the effects of being raised in this type of household, I developed issues with anxiety, depression, people-pleasing, perfectionism, self-confidence, body dysphoria, a lack of social skills, trouble communicating and identifying feelings of suicide, and an inability to maintain healthy relationships. This was not repaired as I aged and carried over into my adult experiences. I struggled with these issues, not really knowing what was happening to me and thinking this is just how life works, until I was about 40 years old. At that point, I realized I was severely depressed with how my life was going and began seeing a counselor. This led me on a path of discovery and healing of the issues from my childhood that were holding me back from being my best self. I've spent nearly 10 years seeing a counselor on and off and have done a ton of reading and research on the topic of trauma to find healing for myself. Another way that I'm prepared to help with our borders is through my career in education. Professionally, I am a teacher of over 20 years and an educational psychologist. These professions and the education needed to have these titles have provided me with a lot of knowledge about how the brain works, how it is affected by trauma, and how to reverse the effects of that abuse. In a future episode, I will explain more about what all of that means as well. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in education and a PhD in educational psychology. The learning that took place for these degrees, along with my experience with children in my classroom over all these years, gave me insight into what is needed to produce a mentally healthy human. The point I want to make is that because of my own journey in education, I feel qualified to help you through your journey of being the best person you can be. It hasn't been easy for me, and there have been times I wanted to crawl in bed with a box of wine and call it quits. But I promise you, almost 15 years into my healing journey, I can say it has all been worth it. I am a healthier and happier person because of the work I have done on myself. In my future episodes, I will discuss with you what childhood trauma and abuse are and what impact that can have on your emotional health. I will identify borders that we can put up in our minds to survive those impacts. I will also give you suggestions on how to break down those borders so that you begin to heal from those impacts, as well as ideas on how you can be your best self. I hope you will continue to join me as we start breaking our borders together. Thanks for listening.